Okay, so I wanted to do a quick little update on all the enclosures and the inhabitants of the enclosures. This was one of the first ones I did. This is my bearded dragon's indoor enclosure. She's actually out in her outdoor enclosure, which she spends majority of her time in during the day. She pretty much only sleeps and maybe eats in this one. Now it's like an 80-gallon aquarium that I built, custom backgrounds and a custom roof. See, the lights are mounted, separated by a screen. It's got fans. I don't know if you can see the fans very well. Let's open that up. There are two computer fans, one blowing air in, one blowing air out. Bioactive. If I move this, you should be able to see some of the critters that inhabit with her. And I actually have to pull some of the isopods out of here and move them to other places or other enclosures. I also built the shelf. Hey, my cat wants to know what I'm doing. So yeah, that's the I call that the barn house build. It's basically set up like a little barn house, and really proud of it. You know, it's got a full tin roof, very rustic. It's got its little shutters that I put on the side that, you know, just for decorations. So yeah, this one still going strong. It's kind of the centerpiece of the room, and really like it. Now over here we have one of the Aki enclosures and my boa's enclosure on top, painted to match the barn house, so it kind of ties together. But we'll just start at top. This is my boa enclosure, and you can see he's kind of chilling next to his water bowl. There he is. So yeah, so painted. It's completely sealed. It's painted like, you know, the barn house, and, you know, barn house 2, as I call it. I make this out of some high quality wood. I seal the inside. The bottom, about right here where any substrate would be, is 2 or 3 coats of waterproof dry lock, and then the rest is painted with a low voc paint that's also it's like latex. It's got a little spotlight, a UV light that comes on. Not that he's, you know, getting a ton of benefit from it. And then it's got, all my cages have a little LED accent that at night puts off a very faint little reddish orange glow to simulate maybe a little moonlight. It's not necessary, but I kind of like it. So that's if I remember, it's 4 foot by 2 foot deep by 2.5 foot high. And there is a shelf that's going to be put in there at some point. He's still, you know, he's only a year old, so he's not real big. He kind of spends a lot of time under the substrate and in his hide. But as he grows a little bit, until he outgrows it, I'm going to put a little shelf design in there for him to be able to hang out on. And then down here, this is the barn house number 2 build. I got this from a local person that was selling it off of Facebook Marketplace. It was a pool cabinet, or a cabinet next to a pool in a patio, and it was pretty big. It had, you know, double doors that went all the way up, and they stored pool supplies and such in it. So I did the same thing that I did with the barn house bid. I converted it to an enclosure. It's got sliding doors, fully bioactive. You can see Kaya, my little male Aki. That's his favorite spot to hang out, right under the UVB light, and he kind of moves around under the spotlights. So it's got live plants, a little bit of live grass. It's got some cork rounds that are buried into the ground that go down. There's a big cypress stump right there that has some channels that he digs around in. Little dead, weathered sage grass bush, give it a desert feel. It also has its fans, spotlights. It's got some LED. You know, all of this was built, you know, pink Owens Corning, you know, foam board. The bottom seal, just like I talked about with the top, we put several coats of dry lock on the very bottom, and then kind of paint up the rest. So kind of the same thing as I talked about above. And he loves it. He's got plenty of room to explore. It's I think 60 inches wide. It's 48 inches high and 2 foot deep. So for that little guy, he's got plenty of room. And the knobs came on it, so I kept them. They're like ceramic. Painted it up to look like the barn house. So that's the barn house Aki enclosure and the boa enclosure. I have other snakes that are in racks. This is my, I hate to say he's my favorite, but he kind of is my favorite. It's my VIP Sunglow Jungle male. So yeah, that's the Aki and boa enclosure. Okay, here is the other Aki enclosure. It's got some of my scorpions on top. Actually, the heat from the enclosure radiates through the top, and it helps keep that scorpion aquarium warm. But same thing. This was a cabinet that I found on Marketplace. Similar, it was a patio cabinet. I think they had grill supplies and such. It had 3 doors. I always incorporate the doors, kind of build the inside, the structure, to where I can incorporate the doors and leave the handles so you can see what it was, and then, you know, put the sliding glass. So this is Alkira. She is she's probably, I gave her a couple of mealworms this morning, but she's probably telling me, hey, throw some roaches in here. But exactly the same setup. Built the backgrounds. Of course, these are Australian lizards, so the red backgrounds to simulate the red rocks of Australia. Lighting set up the same. The glass is really dirty. I need to clean it. Probably should have done that before I created a video, but it's got some live plants, totally bioactive. It's got plenty of little isopods and springtails. I have to replenish the isopods about every 2 or 3 months. I'll throw a few extras in there because I know they do hunt them and consume a few, so I have to monitor it. But I literally, this and the other Aki enclosure, I never have to really spot clean it unless they use it on, you know, one of the platforms. So they have plenty of platforms to climb. She spends most of her time in that cork round, sticks her head out the front right there. Same thing, she gets to dig. She's got a little water feature that's getting low. Need to clean it and change the water out. She's got to hide back there. But majority of her time, oh, she's going to come see us. See if I can get her up here. Hey, there she is. What are you doing? Come on over here and see me. She will literally come up to the glass. She eats out of my hand. She's handleable. Come on. Come on. You can do it. No, she's like, bring me the food. So yeah, she's my little, probably going on 2-year-old female. Like I said, I've got a pair. I have not put them together. I've actually got a couple of big projects that I'm going to do that are going to be double the size of each one of these, and I may cohab these two for a while and one of the bigger ones once I'm done with it. They're just a ways off. So yeah, very similar. Like I said, this was a real rustic looking piece of outdoor furniture that they kept grill supplies, pool supplies in. That's my little light, holder that I built just to store lights, different wattages. So that's it. Hey Kira, she's a good size monitor. Good sized little Ackie. Fun. Like I said, come on up here and see me. Live plants. I water them, spray the thing down once a week, pour a little water, maybe a pitcher of water, like a tea pitcher. I just pour it along the bottom. Plants do well. The isopods do well. The lights are staged, just like I had with the others. There are fans behind those little grills. I experimented with the grills. So, yeah. The Ackies have some of the nicer enclosures. And like I said, got a few scorpions. You're not going to be able to see them. They're probably bedded down. Got a few little scorpions that I mess around with. Got a death stalker in the back. He stays in my room. I keep him a little bit more secure than these here. So yeah, she's down there. All right, look, she just went into her log, and there she comes. Now she sleeps in there. She'll hang there with her head out until I bring her some food, and then she'll climb on out. Hey, Kira. These are great little lizards. I don't really have the room or the time to deal with big monitors like I used to have. So, but I love keeping them. So I'm just working with a couple of little Ackies right now until I'm ready to do something with a little bit more size. I used to have some 4-5 footers. So yeah, that's the first Ackie enclosure I built. So the very first custom build that I did a couple of years ago, when I kind of dipped my toe back into reptiles after a 15-year, maybe 16-year hiatus. I bred reptiles and had reptiles, you know, from the 80s up to the early to mid 2000s, and then I took a long break to focus on career and other things. But the first reptile that I got when I decided to get back in was a yellow Uromastix named Lemonade. And I wanted to build him a unique custom enclosure. So one day, scrolling through Facebook Marketplace while in Arkansas on business, I saw a lemonade stand for sale. And this was just a basic little kids lemonade stand. So I bought it, and I had an idea in my head of how to turn it into an enclosure, so that's what I did. So it's 48 wide by 2 foot by 2 foot. It's got a hinged screen lid with locks that I can close it shut. I don't have to worry about animals getting in or out. When I say animals getting in, I'm talking about my 2 cats. Lemonade passed away last year. He was an older wild caught. So now this thing's inhabited by Jack, my little male het for lavender albino Jeri. He's under his little rock in the back. Let's see, maybe his tail a little bit, you know. But he usually comes out, you know, a few hours in the morning, and then he dips back in, and then he comes back later in the day. So he's got all his little hiding places. Of course, it's, you know, got both the spotlights or heat lamps with UVB. I've got a little thermometer and humidity gauge. This one doesn't have fans because of the screen top. It doesn't really need forced air in or out. So really unique build. All my cages are Wi-Fi controlled. I've got them set where the lights kick on in stages. Like this one, I believe this light kicks on first in the morning. It's a little bit lower wattage bulb, and as it heats up, about an hour later, this one kicks on. Continues to heat up, letting him know it's time to come out. And then the UVB light kicks kicks on about an hour after that, so he has about 6 to 8 hours of UVB. Then it will go off first, then this light goes off, and then they cycle off, you know, without having really elaborate lighting systems. I just use a Wi-Fi controlled power strip and adjust the timing to make this thing work the way I want it. And all my enclosures are like that. But you can see the size of it, and it's affectionately called the lemonade stand. And this is I call it the Euro Condo, Euromestics Condo. It's 8 foot long, 2 foot wide, 4 foot tall. So it's basically, the back wall is basically one sheet of 3/4 inch plywood. And same thing, heavily sealed and then painted with a Lovac latex paint. 2 sections. Actually, I'll explain this. It's 4 sections. So if you look this on the bottom, and this houses my 2 pair of Euromestics flaviflacciata. But that panel that's in between, and if anybody saw the build video when I built this, it's removable. So technically this is 4 by 2 by 2s. Or you pull the divider out and it becomes an 8 by 2 by 2. So this is my door. Let me crack this open. So this door, when I open it, I'm working with one hand here. I've got this piece to kind of hold them in place and you know, keep it sealed. And then when I pull this off, there's the divider in the bottom. So I actually have these 2 animals split right now. They're normally together. This is the male over here. You can see his tail. He's under his rock. He's not crushed. Trust me, that rock's got a hollow bottom. It is a real rock, or petrified rock, or wood, whatever you want to call it. It's got a hollow bottom that he kind of squeezes into. And then the female over here, she's probably under her little slabs, and all those are supported correctly. They've got, you know, bricks underneath them, or pieces of the same sandstone underneath them to keep them from, you know, digging and the rock shifting. But I split them because she just about 4 weeks ago laid her first clutch of Euromestics eggs, which are currently cooking there in the incubator. And so she did her duty for this year, and I'll probably keep them separated. And you know, we'll I normally let them stay together. Like, there's a pair in here, and she's probably asleep under that rock. Yeah, you can kind of see her tail there a little bit. The little female sleeps under that rock. The male, he usually sleeps under there. So kind of the same thing. You got UVB, and we'll see. You can see there's a notch cut out. So the only drawback to this system is the UVB light has to be placed at the very back. So now these animals do get some real sunshine, which an hour of real sunshine is worth a week under this light, in my opinion. So they're getting it. And then of course they've got their spots. The way I've got this one set up, because it's 8 feet long, is, you know, you got a heavy, and they go down in wattage all the way to the end, so it creates a heat gradient. And then we'll just put the divider back in, make sure it's closed. It's got magnets, cabinet locks that seal it, and then boom. So yeah, that's the Euro Condo. Wish the animals were out where you could actually see them. It's pretty heavy, and I used to have some vision cages on top with a couple of snakes in it, but I'm actually going to set up for those eggs when they hatch a cage for the babies to go here, and they'll be right there together. So yeah, that's the Euromestics condominiums. Okay, so this cage, custom built, I call the tower, the Euro Tower. It's 3 It's equivalent to 3 48 by 2 by 2 stacked on top of each other. So we'll get to this one, but I'll show you that. Those are, you know, the plastic cages that you can buy, reptile habitats that I put together for my ornates over here, just because I simply didn't have time to build a wood one. But, and I got them on sale. So yeah, this is, I call this the Euro Tower. And it houses 3 female juvenile yellow geri. You can see the one on top, she's kind of basking. They don't like the camera. Anytime I'm filming them, they may bolt. But they've got everything they need. They got their dual spots with fans and lights, and it's like this in every compartment. So I'll just show you this one here at the top. A little bit of LED lighting. Like I said, very, very low light that it puts off at night, and just gives kind of an orangish red glow. Sealed. Now of course these are Uromastic, so I don't have to worry about moisture as much. The wood being sealed as heavily as, like, you know, the beardeds and the Ackies. But it is a very heavy, well-built piece of I call it furniture, but cage system. Everything I do is on casters, so they all roll. You can maybe see. Here, this one you can see. I use some heavy-duty casters because I don't want to have to pick any of this up. So yeah, up top, this is my normal geri female, and yeah, she don't like this camera, so she's just peeking over. Down here, I have one of my female het for albino yellow geri. Came from Josh Markey, who is an incredible Uromastyx breeder and reptile breeder. Here's another female. She's got a little ground up Missouri and some bee pollen that she probably was just munching on. And they've got their basking spots set up, fans in all compartments. And this one, I actually use this, you know, because they really like the heat. I actually use this little thermostat here to control the fans. And what this thing does, it's got a probe. See it there at the top. See if I can zoom in. Those lights don't blink. They just show that they blink. I mean, they do blink, but we can't see it with the naked eye. The camera picks it up. But there's the probe. And that controls the fans because they need to stay a little warmer than some of the other animals. So there's the settings. It kind of kicks on and off at those settings and kind of keeps these things pretty toasty. Like you can see right now, it's showing, I don't know if you can see that, but it says 9435, which generally that would be and that thing's kind of right in the middle. So when you get over here on their basking spots, it's really hot, which they love. But they can also come over here. It's cooler, got a smaller light. So yeah, I built this. I actually threw these little gold accent pieces on the corners to protect them. It's like a wall where drywall would be. You would use this on like a corner of drywall. And I had them. I said, yeah, let's see how they look. I can pull them off later if I don't like them, but kind of gives it a little unique look. All these things are heavy, and they all have locks. Keep the locks up there. I really don't lock them up unless I'm leaving for a few days or something, just in case. I mean, they're pretty tight. I built the doors so they don't slide freely and easily. Like, you really have to push to get that to, there's not a lot. I can barely get the glass in and out, so you can hear how tight that is. So yeah, that's the Euro Tower. And right next to the Euro Tower is the 3 stack of reptile habitats, enclosures for the ornates. I have 3 juvenile ornates. I've got a female here up top. Cool thing I did with these, and I'll try to show you. She's gonna freak. She don't like the camera either. But if you notice that whole light panel that I don't like lights sitting on top of cages. So I needed the lights to be inside of the cages. So what I did is I built a panel, and let's see if you can see it. Probably not, but I have pipe clamps on these rods drilled into the wood, and what that allows me to do, and I probably should patent this before I show it to everybody, but Dubia knows about it. I've talked to them about it, but I can adjust this light bar. It's kind of tight. I didn't want it to move too freely, but if I want to adjust the lights up, and I adjusted it so far that it came loose. So I can move that if I wanted to bring that forward to adjust the lights. Like if I noticed the back was getting a little bit too warm and this was cold and I wanted it to be a little closer, it was a way for me to experiment and throw something together. I built all the backgrounds, of course, basically, same thing, foam, and I haven't cleaned this morning, so you might notice a few little drops in there. Occasionally I'll spray it down with a little bit of a cleaning mixture and wipe it off, and of course spot cleaning it. There's my male. I call him Silverchair. He's named after the song by Silverchair, where they talk about Fat Boy. So, and in the back they have, built-in cave systems, and they can go in there and it actually slopes down to the point where they can wedge themselves real tight in the back. This one, not so much. It's kind of hard to see over there. This one, pretty cool. Let's see if we can see it. I actually built a floating cave. Let's see. Do you see that ledge? She can literally climb up and get in between that ledge and that wood. I'm sorry, between the two pieces of foam. And of course it was painted and sealed and then, joined. But that's pretty cool. Sometimes she kind of gets in there, wedges herself, and just hangs out. So I have the same light bar in each cage. I built those custom. Here's the bottom one. Kind of the same deal. Ledges. You can get in the bottom. She has her little trunk that she climbs under and hangs out on all the time. Same light system. And I built a little roll around platform. Kind of hard to attach casters. So this one has like a little skateboard platform with casters where I can roll it around and move it as I need to. So yeah, that's the ornate or ornata cages. I didn't build those, of course, but I did do the backgrounds and the light bars. So not as much ingenuity spent on those, but turned out pretty good. On to the next one, or maybe this is the last one. We'll see.